girl gets up and wants to have breakfast, but finds a stranger in the kitchen frying an egg. She thinks there's a thief in the house and quickly wakes her sleeping mother. Her mother knew that Mr. Church would come over, but the girl hates this visiting chef. Hello everyone, welcome to Horse Movie Channel. Today, I'll bring you the movie Mr. Church, but then discovered that he was already married. Even when she became pregnant, her mother still resolutely ended the relationship and raised Charlotte alone. Now that her father has died, he only hired a cook to make up for his guilt, so Charlotte hates everything about her father. Even on the way to Mr. Church came was because her mother had an accident. Mr. Church was ordered to take care of her mother's last 6 months of life. If he kept his promise, he would get a lifetime salary, enough to support him for the rest of his life, even though everything was taken care of. When Mr. Church went out to buy groceries, his mother still handed him a few coupons. When Charlotte returned home, she found that Mr. Church not only had left, but had also built a bookcase in the house without permission. He told him before going to bed. Her mother gave her a library card made by Mr. Church, but she tore it up without even looking at it, and she soon regretted. He pretended that every bite was torture, but anyone in their right mind could tell that she was already looking forward to the next course. Unexpectedly and rudeness, Mr. Church not only did not care, but also recorded many beautiful images. The longer they spent time together, the more Mr. Church, her mother, who was originally only given 6 months to live, stubbornly lasted for 6 years. She fought against the disease until her daughter grew up. Every time she came home from school, the first thing Charlotte did was carefully open her mother's door.
Every time I walked in that room, I held my breath so I could listen for hers, hoping it would still be there.
Sometimes her mother's weak breathing made Charlotte anxious, and she was afraid that one day her mother would quietly leave her. Over time, Charlotte even began to fear her mother, unable to face the fact that a loved one was about to die. The mother knew what Charlotte was afraid of, but in her final days, she desperately wanted to hold her daughter close. All emotions poured out like a raging river. The feeling of love and hate intertwined was so painful, even though the person you love dearly has not completely said goodbye to you. Soon the graduation ball became the most important event in Charlotte's family. Her mother and Mr. Church worked together to design the dress. They were so excited that Charlotte thought her mother would leave forever. It was a pink dress, and her mother couldn't stop praising her daughter's beauty. Raised their glasses in celebration for the unknown future. Charlotte naively thought that these ordinary days could continue forever. It wasn't until Mr. Church's reappearance that Charlotte realized that this day had finally come. When the noise and clamor of the people faded away, the bittersweet life of living began to sink in once again. Miss waited. Only when they met again, Charlotte's belly was so big that it could no longer be covered. But Mr. Church did not ask too many questions, and quietly cooked dinner for Charlotte as he always did. The next morning, there was no longer Mr. Church's back in the kitchen. For the first time, Charlotte realized that Mr. Church had also grown old. Now she was old enough to take her a period of time. Mr. Church could no longer get out of bed. Charlotte read familiar books to Mr. Church as she prepared to get up and leave. Mr. Church stopped her.
No. I don't want my privacy.
She took his hand, but when the first rays of morning sunlight fell, Mr. Church closed his eyes forever. While sorting through her belongings, Charlotte finds a cardboard box with her name on it. Inside are the little moments imitating Mr. Church from the first 6 months to the next 6 years, and then to a lifetime of companionship. Mr. Church and Charlotte were not lovers, nor were they family. He received no payment, nor did he seek any in return. But this was the purest and most selfless relationship, because Mr. Church knew how to love. The satisfaction he wanted from love had long been fulfilled in the process of giving. Even though Mr. Church was not happy in the first half of his life, some people think this is an unrealistic movie, but they don't know that the story is based on a real friendship. After countless painful experiences of wanting love but resisting it, we realize that love nourishes others, fulfills ourselves, and is endless. This was not an ordinary encounter, not love. Sometimes there is not even a single word of I love you, but we still love each other dearly.